Welcome to Cinema 5D on the Couch, the talk show with filmmakers and industry leaders. Brought to you by G Technology, Røde Microphones, Movidiam, Red Shark, Film Convert, and F&V.
Welcome to Cinema 5D on the Couch. Thanks to our sponsors G Technology, Røde Microphones, Film Convert, Movidiam.com and F&V, we are happy to welcome another round of guests for a new season. This is the first episode we are recording this season at IBC. Hello, Philip Bloom.
Hello.
Hi, George Olver from Movidiam.com.
How do you know?
Ryan Berg from Røde Microphones.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. So, Philip, what are you working on currently?
I am in between episodes of a series I'm working on for the Americans, and it's a documentary series traveling around the world. So my whole concept of not traveling anymore has really kind of gone out the window. So I'm pretty much traveling for the next 4 months. But it's a lot of fun, and it's a very good concept for the documentary series, and again, places I never thought I'd ever visit.
For example?
I can't talk about those.
I can talk tweeting about it all the time.
I can't talk about specific places at the moment. No, I can't. I can talk about gear.
Okay. So what are you shooting on?
I'm using different cameras. Lots of different cameras. Too many cameras. Should just use one. Why do I make myself...
Are you operating all of them? Or
I'm operating, well, not at the same time, but I've got the F55 is the main camera. Shooting in HD, not 4K. I did try to convince them to go 4K, and the whole concept of the series is so special. It makes sense to go 4K in a sort of like a document kind of way for looking back. But there's no money for it, and there's no real need as far as they can see, which is fine. But it still shoots great HD, and then it ties in with the A7S as the Movi M5 cam because it's nice and light. Because you know what it's like using a Movi. It's fine. You can put any camera on for the first 5 or 6 seconds. And then after that, it's heavy. So you want a smaller camera.
I actually started using the A7S on the M5 upside down without a monitor. I use the built-in monitor. It's good enough. You can see it.
I hate that built-in monitor. It's terrible.
Really?
Terrible.
I think it's good enough.
But the inverted mode means you're actually holding it at the height of
So people. I have the monitor right in front of me.
It's pretty good. Otherwise, there's that bit in the middle of your back. If you hold it down, which you always straighten it, it really hurts. The downside is you can't do those lovely tracking feet shots when you have it upside down. But that's what I'm mostly using. I'm also using it for lots of just B-roll stuff that I don't need to schlep the big beast around for. And the C100 is being operated by the shooter as B camera for interviews, and the image out that's lovely.
Yeah. So we're here at IBC. I know you didn't have a lot of time to check stuff out yet with all your talks, but anything that excites you?
Excites me. Well, there's obviously lots. I don't even know how many cameras were announced by Sony today. I just saw this thing in my email with all these cameras I've never heard of. But the one that stands out is the camera that nobody knew that was coming. Is the Q signs. Is the FS7, which looks ridiculously good for the money. You've already had a fiddle with it in Pinewood, didn't you? Did you like
it? It was nice. I liked it. I mean, it looks like something from the 90s.
You mean like a video camera? Like one that makes sense?
Like the shape of it. It looks a little bit like even like an RE 16mm, like a Reflex, which is kind of nice, but it's unusual. But it's nice that they actually, the concept, it's already working on your shoulder out of the box with that grip.
Yeah.
The handle wasn't quite ready yet. It was like they bolted that together like the day before I saw it, I think. But it looks good, and I don't understand who will buy the F5 now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a problem because it's spec list as it is right now with the same sensor as the F5 as well. It is practically the same things as the F5. The only thing it doesn't do right now is the full DCI 4K, which is going to come to it. It does what is it, QHD, whatever it's called.
And I think it doesn't output like 16-bit RAW.
It does 12-bit, not 16. But we're talking a massive price difference between the two. And of course, the F5 doesn't do 4K officially. It does obviously through the hack. You can do it internally, but they've announced that you're going to have a firmware upgrade for the F5, paid though, I understand. And just also as an F55 owner, I'm looking at that and going, oh, so what exactly does my camera do for price difference between the F5 and 55 is like 10,000? What exactly does my camera do that's different then?
It doesn't shoot any higher frame rates anymore, does it? I mean,
same high frame rates. It's basically I have global shutter and a different color gamut for 10,000, which is a big difference. And then if you compare it to the FS7, it's even more so. So I think the problem they have is they have two cameras which are going to be very much harmed by the cheaper camera. But you look at what's going to sell more: the cheaper camera, lots of them, more expensive cameras that don't sell as much.
I mean, I think in the rental market and higher end cinematography, they will not, the FS7 won't be used as much because of the E mount, because it's not as durable as the FC mount, and you can't put almost FZ mount. FZ. You cannot put everything on it. So I only have English and Australian sitting here, so I can say FZ.
Do you say Z or Z?
I'd say Z. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like us. Yeah. We say Zs.
We're
Zs.
When we were looking at when we were compiling the list of guests, that's the Commonwealth show. That's the American show.
He might get offended by the Commonwealth thing. I don't know if he's a royalist or not. I mean, you're not Scottish, are you?
It's the outdoor lifestyle.
You're not Scottish.
It's not Scottish.
Because that'd be a problem, wouldn't it, right now? Of course. But the thing, I like E-mount. You know why I like E-mount? Because of speed booster. So I can get full frame look and feel on that camera. I like the flexibility of E-mount. Now, the FZ is great and it is rock solid, but I spent almost 2,000 quid just getting a bloody Canon mount for it. So everything's much more expensive. It adds up and adds up and adds up.
Did you see, I heard as a prototype or even announced already FZ to Canon Metabones.
That'd be good. Who buy?
Dan
Metabones.
Dan Chang showed me yesterday.
That's great. It's just a shame that everybody's going to be selling their F5s, or unfortunately should have sold them yesterday.
True.
Yeah. But I'm not going to sell my 55. A, I haven't paid it off yet, and B, I still love it, and C, I haven't paid it off yet.
Now the FS7, what's the audio I/O like? Is that the same as the 700 with
sound? Jesus Christ!
I hear that far too often. Yeah, I mean, but like for audio I/O, and like the FS700, we have one at Røde. That's what we use for a lot of our shooting, and it's got the XLR balanced inputs. Does that have the same on the FS7? Audio. Yeah, exactly. Real audio. Yeah. Is that the same deal with the FS7 that's just come out?
It should be. I think so. I mean, it has XLRs.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I mean, for myself, like as an audio guy, obviously that's like the first thing that I'm looking at. Yeah. I've just started getting into the camera market, like shooting myself, because at Røde we do all of our own in-house productions. So it's like something that you just can't avoid. Even though like audio's been my thing, I started shooting recently, and it's kind of a learning curve for me getting into it, but it should be.
I mean, you often find with quite a few high-end cameras that audio is actually right down the list.
Yeah.
So you'll have things like the Reds and the Alexas. They don't have as good audio features. My F55, until a firmware update about 6 months ago, I had to go into a menu to change audio levels.
Wow. Yeah.
So I like pots, physical pots, and I don't know what this new camera has, if it has pots or not. But it's because obviously audio on board is more for one man generally, and so the higher end cameras tend to expect it to be dual system.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was kind of learning the whole audio side of film, I noticed like even a lot of the old film cameras used to have such easy to use like audio circuitry. You had physical knobs, you had a lot of different switching options, and it seems to me that there was a kind of everyone's taken a step back in terms of what they add into cameras, and now we're starting to see a little bit more of that coming back in, like when you're looking at the 700, the FS7.
I think it's a good point, because a lot of right now what I see from my clients as well is like a lot of TV channels that didn't used to shoot on super 35mm cameras are now moving into this because the camera technology is so accessible. But what they need is in-camera audio. You cannot. That's why the C300 is such a popular camera, I think, because it works out of the box. It has all the connectors that everybody asked for. So and that's where I think the FS7 will just tie in neatly and probably be cause a hard time for Canon with the C300 now.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that C300's already got it's right in there. It's already everywhere. As you know, it's your main camera, and it's very much in demand. And unless you're switching to 4K, there is no real reason to
there might be one
apart from the super slow motion
ProRes. It is possible to record ProRes internally in the FS7 with that added thing.
And slow motion.
And slow motion.
Canons don't do slow motion.
because 180 frames per second is a lot for
It's
a
nice.
camera that costs only 8,000.
Well, I mean, the FS 700s did 200. I mean, mind you, it's continuous on the FS7, but on the FS 700 we've had 240 frames.
True.
So,
But it is a very difficult camera to work with in a practical way.
It is. It's a lovely camera, hampered by bad ergonomics and
Yeah.
menus and stuff. But when you get past that, it's really nice. So it's like they've taken the FS 700 and actually made it into a workable video camera, but mated it with the F5.
Yeah.
Sorry, the F55 really.
So George, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're
So
a filmmaker yourself.
No, exactly. Yeah, no. Well, just going back to the FS7. Well, that's my chance encounter with Nino when he was sneaking off to Pinewood to have a look at it, and you know, such as the joy of modern technology. I saw that he was doing this on Instagram and reached out to him and had a chat with him about what we're doing at Movidiam. And Movidiam is a platform we're building for filmmakers to connect, collaborate, and then create films. So we've run a production company in London called Pendragon Productions for about 10 years, and we've looked at the processes and we've really evaluated the pain points. So if we sort of imagine making a film as trying to cross a river, there are certain things that you need to do to get across, and we've tried to distill those into a platform, Movidiam.com, which is going to really help filmmakers collaborate, do all the necessary things with sort of file sharing, call sheets, storyboards, and give a centralized place where this information can be stored, because we know how frenetic it can be. I mean, I know you, Philip, have done an awful lot more filmmaking than me, and you've done an awful lot more sound engineering than me. But I've looked at it with a bit of a condor vision, and how we can make a tool which is really going to facilitate, directors, DOPs, editors, and the wider production. So we can build a platform of brilliant creative people, and then we can look to find opportunity for those people by connecting them with businesses and agencies that want to use their services and use their expertise and review their profiles and portfolios so they can find the team of best fit. I mean, everyone's got their interests and their expertise, and I just think there's a really exciting opportunity for filmmakers to really connect in a different way, because I think we've seen a lot of developments in the technology and the hardware, HD, 4K, these exciting technologies, but the collaborating around people, I think, is a really key part of filmmaking, and we're going forward with a technology platform that seeks to do this in a very, very strong way.
Thanks for watching this segment of Cinema 5D on the Couch. Also thanks to our dear sponsors G Technology, Røde Microphones, Film Convert, F&V, and Movidiam.com. And please do join us for the next episode in this series.